On August 13th, the Dodgers opened their series against the Brewers in a matchup that drew significant attention across MLB. Both teams featured plenty of star power, but Shohei Ohtani remained the biggest focus as he gradually worked his way back into top form. In Game 1, Ohtani once again batted leadoff and served as the designated hitter. In his first at-bat, Ohtani faced Brewers left-hander Shane Drowan. It was not an easy matchup, as left-handed pitchers often present more difficulty for left-handed hitters, particularly with pitches moving into the inner part of the zone. With the count at 3 balls and 1 strike, Drowan went with a 95.2 miles per hour sinker. It was a firm pitch often used to generate ground balls or prevent hitters from making truly hard contact. However, Ohtani recognized the pitch early and immediately unleashed a decisive swing. Ohtani drove the ball over the center fielder's head and off the wall, giving him a clear opportunity to accelerate towards second base. With his excellent base-running ability, he immediately picked up speed and prepared to slide into second before the Brewers' defense could recover. But just as Ohtani was charging towards second base at high speed, an extremely controversial incident reportedly occurred. David Hamilton, the Brewers' defender covering the area around second base, was said to have deliberately moved his knee and elbow into Ohtani's path. Rather than simply focusing on receiving the ball and applying a legal tag, Hamilton reportedly used his arm to impede Ohtani, nearly causing him to lose his balance completely while sliding. What made the play dangerous was Ohtani's speed at the moment he began the slide. When a runner accelerates at full speed and then transitions into a slide, his ability to adjust his body is greatly reduced. A block with a knee or elbow in that situation can cause a runner to twist suddenly, slam hard into the ground, or place significant stress on the knees, shoulders, and upper body. If the angle of contact had been only slightly different, the consequences could have been much more serious. Ohtani was fortunate to avoid a major direct collision, but he was still knocked off his running path and had to use his hands to maintain his balance. Immediately after the play ended, the Dodgers star clearly showed his frustration. He looked back at Hamilton with visible anger before turning toward the umpiring crew and asking for an explanation. The home plate umpire immediately called time after noticing that tensions were rising. Dodgers players began moving toward the second base area, while members of the Brewers coaching staff also reacted from the dugout. In such a highly competitive game, one shove or provocative comment at that moment could easily have triggered an argument between the two sides. The umpiring crew therefore quickly gathered and reviewed the play from multiple camera angles. The replay review reportedly focused on the moment Hamilton approached Ohtani, the location of the ball, the fielder's movement, and especially whether the use of his knee and elbow was actually necessary to complete the defensive play. After the review, the umpiring crew reportedly determined that Hamilton's actions went beyond the permitted limits. An ejection was then reportedly issued, with David Hamilton removed from the game for conduct judged to be dangerous and violent. After the ruling, the Brewers immediately protested. Several members of the coaching staff came onto the field to argue with the umpires, insisting that the incident was simply a collision at high speed and that Hamilton had no intention of injuring Ohtani. However, the umpires reportedly upheld the decision after reviewing the video, forcing Hamilton to leave the field amid loud boos from the crowd. The matter reportedly did not end with the ejection. MLB began reviewing the entire incident, using video footage, umpire reports, and other relevant information to determine whether Hamilton had deliberately targeted Ohtani. If the league concluded that the action was intentional, additional discipline could be imposed. Possible penalties could include a multi-game suspension and a fine. This distinction is especially important because MLB must clearly separate dirty play from legitimate baseball action. A player has every right to compete aggressively, apply a hard tag, or fight for every base, but unnecessary movements cannot be used in a way that creates an avoidable risk of injury to an opponent. The incident became even more sensitive because Ohtani is one of the most influential players in the league. However, the issue should not depend on his fame. Every runner needs to be protected from contact that goes beyond what is necessary for the play. If MLB only responded strongly when the player involved was Ohtani, its message about player safety would be far less convincing. Reaction from fans on social media quickly became intense. Many Dodgers fans called on the Brewers to issue a public apology, while also urging MLB to impose a sufficiently strong punishment to prevent similar incidents from happening again. From their perspective, a slide into second base can end with a runner being safe or out, but it should not end with contact that creates a serious risk of injury. Meanwhile, Ohtani's extra base hit in his very first plate appearance immediately put pressure on Drowan. A starting pitcher usually wants to record quick outs early in the game, but instead the Brewers were forced to deal with a runner in scoring position almost as soon as the inning began. Even so, the Dodgers could not capitalize on the opportunity. The hitters behind Ohtani were retired one after another, preventing him from reaching home plate. As a result, the double did not directly produce a run in the first inning. Still, the hit showed that Ohtani was gradually regaining good timing at the plate. In the previous game against the Kansas City Royals, he had delivered a very positive performance with multiple hits, including an important two-run home run that helped the Dodgers turn the game around. The consecutive strong swings over 2 games suggested that Ohtani's pitch recognition and quality of contact were clearly improving. As his timing becomes more consistent, he is not only capable of hitting home runs, but can also regularly drive the ball for doubles and other extra base hits. Ohtani's resurgence also came at the right time, as the Dodgers were trying to regain form after the most difficult stretch of their season. Earlier, the team had fallen into a 7-game losing streak that began with a series against the Boston Red Sox in late July. It was a stretch in which both the offense and pitching staff struggled. The lineup repeatedly missed opportunities with runners in scoring position, while the bullpen also gave away leads on several occasions late in games. The prolonged losing streak significantly increased the pressure surrounding the Dodgers. A team with a strong roster and World Series ambitions certainly did not want to enter the final portion of the season in such inconsistent form. However, returning home appeared to improve the Dodgers' confidence and performance. In the series against the Kansas City Royals, they won all 3 games to complete the sweep. More importantly, those victories did not all follow the same script. In one game, the Dodgers had to come from behind. In another, they needed extra innings. And there were also moments when the bullpen had to protect a very narrow lead. Wins like those helped the team rebuild confidence. Rather than relying on only a few individual performances, the Dodgers began receiving contributions from different parts of the roster. Ohtani was a very important part of that process. As he began creating consistent impact from the leadoff spot, the rest of the lineup gained more opportunities to produce runs. An Ohtani double, or simply reaching base at the start of an inning, can immediately force the opposing pitcher to work under pressure. After the victory over the Royals, Ohtani also acknowledged that difficult stretches are almost unavoidable over the course of a long MLB season. According to his comments, the most important thing for the Dodgers at that point was to find a win quickly in the losing streak and restore a positive feeling. Once they secured that first victory, the Dodgers quickly regained confidence and continued producing positive results. Ohtani's comments reflected the Dodgers' current mindset quite clearly. The team cannot change the 7 losses that already happened, but it can control how it responds afterward. Immediately producing 3 consecutive wins against the Royals showed that the Dodgers still possess a strong ability to adjust. That is also an important quality for a team hoping to make a deep postseason run, because over the course of a long season, completely avoiding periods of poor form is nearly impossible. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with the biggest MLB fan you